Since February 24, 2022, the Russian ruble has appreciated by roughly 47% versus US dollars, whereas Chinese yuan has depreciated by roughly 12%, euro 13%, pound 19%, yen 21%, and Indian rupee has depreciated by roughly 7.5%. Before I proceed ahead, the method of change used to calculate the percentage change is essentially price of the domestic currency in terms of foreign currency, and not the other way around, which we are generally used to, because that would have been an inappropriate measure. With this understanding of what and why, let's get to it. Currency exchange rate essentially is not a barometer for economic performance. You can think of it like measuring distance between two cities. You can either take a kilometer scale or a mile scale. The distance is not going to change as long as the city pair remains the same. So if you're trying to measure some kind of an economic value, then the currency pair does not really decide what is the value, but essentially the currency pair relationship is just going to give different numbers, just like kilometer and mile. But if you change the distance to be measured, the pair of cities, then definitely the numbers will change in real sense. So with this analogy, you need to understand that currency exchange rate is not a direct way to measure how good an economy is doing. So you may ask, so is there some kind of a relationship? Unfortunately, there is no simple relationship between currency exchange rate between two countries and their economic performance, or you may say GDP. Now, with this understanding, let's get to a slightly different example of stock market returns. Now, stock market returns are dependent on economic performance of a nation through corporate earnings, because corporate earnings form a portion of GDP. Corporate earnings are essentially not directly going to affect stock market returns. Corporate earnings, future expectations, flow of investments from institutional investors, and various other factors are going to affect stock market prices or returns. Now, the currency exchange rate depends on a lot of factors like trade imbalance, interest rate differential, and other macroeconomic factors. And I've also made a video on why the Indian rupee has been falling down against US dollars. And I've also made a video on what could be a possible remedy for the depreciating Indian rupee. So you can watch that video from here, and also from the description box of this video.